Well, we're literally cooking with gas. Let's look at those eggs spitting at me. They're saying, "You dirty pig, cooking us like this. I spit in your face." Yes, that's what they're saying. The potatoes are being good, though. They're just browning up nicely. Hey, Rocky. Haha, my good boy. It's a beautiful day. This is going to be really good. I haven't had eggs like this in a long time. This is going to be a real treat. Alrighty. Anyway, that's what's happening at the moment. And then I got to go to work. So, yeah. And I'm kind of happy about that. I like working. I prefer to work than to just to sit around and do nothing and think about how am I going to pay my bills. You know, I very much prefer to work, because even living like this, I have bills. In fact, one of the reasons I'm living like this is because I have bills. Because I got myself deep in debt trying to heat an uninsulated house and whatnot. So, yeah, I do have bills anyway. And also because I got messed around with buying a truck, and I ended up an additional $5,000 in debt over that. But anyway, and with no truck. So, yeah, that was $5,000 for absolutely nothing. That's what that was. Anyway, good value for my money, I guess. You know, reminds me of a story of an old friend of mine who passed away a couple of years ago at the age of 89. A fellow by the name of Tom Kerr. Tom told me a story one time. Back in the 40s, when he first had his license, he was driving around. He was just a young guy at the time. He'd just gotten his license. And he was driving around in a little village called Westport, Ontario. And he wasn't paying attention, like he should have been. He was daydreaming or whatever. And he went through a stop sign. And unfortunately for him, the town constable was parked down the street sitting in a car and saw him do it. So the town constable pulled in behind him, motioned for him to pull over or whatever. And he told him, he said, "You're on a stop sign and there's a fine, and I'm going to have to take you down to the jail and hold you there until you pay the fine. Basically, till you pay your fine." And so he told Tom, he said, "Just follow me in your car down to the jail, and when we get down there, you can make a telephone call if you want to, or whatever, get a hold of somebody." So Tom followed the constable down to the jail there, and the constable allowed him to call his dad, Frank. Frank came and picked Tom up and paid Tom's fine. Of course, Tom was going to have to repay Frank. It wasn't a free thing. It was a loan, from his dad. Anyway, so he understood that he'd have to reimburse his dad for that money. Well, on the way home, Tom was pretty quiet. There wasn't much said in the car on the way home. And the only thing that was said is at one point during the drive, Frank just looked at Tom and he said, "Well, I think you'll find that when you deal with the police, you don't get good value for your money." That's what he told him. He said, "I think you'll find that when you deal with the police, you don't get good value for your money." Yeah. Anyway, that what I just said there about not getting any value for the money I spent on that truck reminded me of that story. Anyway, it's kind of a cute story, and it's also quite true. Really, I mean, it was actually really good advice from a father to a son. He said, "I think you'll find that when you deal with the police, you don't get very good value for your money." Anyway, that's it for now. I'll talk to y'all later.